Well, last week the SBC Summit occurred in Rio, focusing on gambling regulation and industry trends. Tom Waterhouse from Waterhouse VC joining me now to talk all things within the industry. Tom, you went to the conference. What is it? What did you learn?
Look, it's grown at an unbelievable rate compared to last year. Last year it was in a little hall, and this year it felt like it was in a football stadium.
Oh, wow.
There was probably 20,000 people that went to it. It's gone from being the largest grey market in the world, Brazil, to now the hottest new regulated market. So what the government has done there is actually very interesting. So they've basically done three things that are a little bit different to what Australia or the US have done. They've allowed everything. So you can bet on sports, gaming, in-play, whatever you want. It's been legalised and regulated. They've stopped the payments to the grey market operators because PIX is owned by the central bank there. So they've stopped the payments going overseas. And they've also gone in with like a gross profits tax at a reasonable rate, 12%. So it'll be very interesting to see. They've closed down probably 10,000 grey market operators. There's 130 operators that have put down for a license, paying $6 million US each. So if this works, it's really a blueprint of what countries can do to regulate gambling. They've effectively shut down the grey market there in Brazil, or it looks that way at the moment. And yeah, it's really exciting. All the big operators are there, all the suppliers. We obviously only invest in the supply side of the gambling industry, but you've got all the biggest suppliers there, and it's a very interesting time to be in the gambling sector because large markets like the US and Brazil are opening up, regulating, and really operators are now differentiating not through marketing like they did 10 years ago, because there's a lot of marketing and advertising restrictions. They're differentiating through product and user experience. And so if you can identify a technology company that differentiates through technology and has a different product offering, it can be very lucrative, and that's what we're aiming to do.
And you would imagine the growth in the event and 20,000 people shows that there's a lot of support behind that regulation too.
I think so, because it's such a booming industry, the gambling industry at the moment, because these markets are regulated. You're just seeing so many new operators enter the space. So compare these conferences to what they used to be 10 years ago. I used to go to them when I was had TomWaterhouse.com and then running William Hill's business in Australia, and they were just the same old people you'd know each conference. Now you've got so many young, dynamic, different people that are coming into the industry for the first time that have unique insights and different technology. It's very exciting.
So there is obviously going to be a lot of competition then. What makes the Brazilian market unique?
I think what makes the Brazilian market so unique is that they are allowing everything. So you can bet. In Australia, the grey market operators have a big advantage in that they can offer online gaming. They can offer in-play sports. So there's a vibrant grey market offering customers who want to bet on that. Brazil have basically said, look, if you're regulated, you can offer everything, but we're going to tax you and we're going to charge you a license fee. And they've actually got the stick to close down the grey market operators because they control the payment solution. So it's very interesting, and basically all the largest operators in the world are having to go in as regulated operators, pay the tax, and yeah, it's a very dynamic, interesting market.
Well, what do you think it's going to be like next year, the conference, even bigger and better?
I think so. Well, it's such a large population, it's
Yeah.
such a large gambling market, and yeah, it's huge. It's the new frontier.
Okay, let's move back home. So Japan's MIXI and BlueBet here at home moving to acquire PointsBet. Tell us about what all this means.
Well, look, Sam Swanell, who I know well, he was obviously the COO of TomWaterhouse.com and was instrumental in our growth. He's been the CEO of PointsBet and done an amazing job to start that business, what would it be, 6 years ago now, something like that, and take it to being, he took on the world. You know, they were a serious operator in the US, sold that business for $450 million in cash, what would it be, 9 months ago now. And then he's taken the share price from 44 cents to, I think MIXI offered at $1.06. So the shareholders are going to get, if that deal goes through, another $350 million in cash. They've done a tremendous job. I think it's a great outcome. MIXI are obviously a very switched on Japanese group in the space. They know it well. It makes sense for them. And I think it's a great result for PointsBet. They've been on a long journey, but they've executed well, and I think a really good result.
And what does it say more broadly about the state of the wagering online industry?
Well, in the regulated markets, scale is so important, and you're seeing large transactions really for operators to come in scale. PointsBet has got significant scale here. You know, it's not the size of SportsBet or Tabcorp, but it's the next tier down, and they've got a large customer database, they've got significant revenue, and they own their own tech platform. So it makes sense for MIXI. They can take that tech platform globally. They're obviously buying the Australian business, the Canadian business. I think that's why BlueBet, obviously Matt Tripp and Michael Sullivan, very seasoned, switched on operators. I think that's why they liked PointsBet so much, because it gave them scale, gave them a nice tech solution to add on to what they've got. So it makes sense, and maybe there's still a way to play out. It's got to have shareholder approval, and maybe MIXI has to up the offer a bit. I can see why the board recommended MIXI, because obviously it's a cash transaction, but yeah, there's probably still a way to go, and maybe more value Sam Swanell can get for his shareholders.
Do you think that sort of might spark more M&A in the space too, and more interest from overseas companies?
We're quite a mature market here. So the online sports betting place has been in for 25 years, and in terms of opening up of advertising, that changed in 2008. You saw all the overseas entrants come in between that 2008 to 2012 period. But no, I wouldn't put it past them. Like, you look at businesses like Flutter, they're dominating globally with their brands. They've obviously got sportsbet.com.au here in Australia. You may see the large crypto operators globally that have grown so fast over the last few years. Maybe they come in and are acquirers in these regulated markets. So I think M&A is going to continue. It's and yeah, if you execute well, like Sam Swanell and the PointsBet team have, there are acquirers out there.
Putting you on the spot a bit, Tom, and I know that it's a bit different to your wheelhouse, but you do have a lot of experience in the broader industry. What are you making of what's happening with Star Entertainment Group?
Look, so it's not in our wheelhouse in that we focus purely online and focus on the tech supply side of online. But I think for us, we feel that there's massive tailwinds for online businesses, and especially businesses that are providing a unique, differentiated technology solution. There's a shift away from land-based, and COVID accelerated that. People want to engage online, and so land-based operators, they have regulatory overhang because the regulations are strict and tough. They have a taxation overhang, and they have a natural shift of people wanting to do more stuff online. So I haven't looked at the Star business really at all. I see the headlines in the paper and stuff, but we don't focus in that area. We focus where we think is the largest growth, which is online, and especially online, that technology layer. And
speaking of that technology layer, you're seeing more and more implementation of AI as well?
We are. Look, we're seeing such growth in the technology layer, and there's probably two main reasons for it. Well, there's three main reasons. There's technology is just completely changing. So for us to build TomWaterhouse.com 15 years ago, it was 2 years of development time. You're seeing that you can have an online site, like whether you're on JulietteBet.com or TomBet.com, you can probably get that up in terms of getting a payment solution and sign up in a day.
Wow.
You know, you've got all of these different AI tools. Now, can you get it to the standard of what SportsBet offer? No, you can't. But in terms of what you can do with technology, it's very different now. And for us, we see that area is so exciting because operators are having to differentiate through technology because advertising is being restricted. So we think it's a very exciting time. And the third part about it is that we're seeing now that the biggest operators in the world are reinvesting money into that product layer. So the largest companies in the world used to pay out their dividends. They were dividend stocks, paying it out to the large pension funds or big investors. Where the largest operators in the world now are founder-led. You're seeing the likes of Stake.com, SportsBet.io, Shuffle, and they're really putting money back into the space. And so I've never seen so much money and investment going back into the industry as what's going on right now.